Welcome back, church. I'm Ricky Farley with 70 times 7 Ministry, and today is June 29th, 2021, and we're finishing up the book of Micah today. And this will put us halfway through our journey in Minor Prophets this year, um, and we start a new book next week, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Um, but last week we read about the uh, punishment of Israel, and in chapter 7, we read about the spiritual ruin, renewal, and restoration. And of course, we all know that's through Jesus Christ. But in chapter 7, and I'm going to skip around here a little bit, but in chapter 7, we read of the sorrow in 7:1. Woe is me, for I am like those who gathered summer fruit, like those who gave the vintage grapes. There is no cluster to eat of the first ripe fruit which my soul desires. And that's what all of our soul desires is Christ. Um, Whether we know it or not, we were made in God's image and we were made to return to Him, but um, some of us try to fill that void with other things and remain lost. And if we skip ahead to chapter 8, we uh, read about Israel's confession. Do not rejoice over me, my enemies, when I have fall. I will arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord will be a light to me. And then we fast forward to chapter 14, and we see that God will forgive us. Shepherds, shepherd your people with your staff, the flock of your heritage, whom dwells solitary in the woodward in the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in the basin of Gilead, as in the days of old. And then in the days when it comes out of the land of Egypt, I will show them wonders. The nations shall see and be ashamed of all their might. They shall put their hands over their mouths, their ears shall be deaf. And then in chapter or verse 20, you will be given truth to Jacob and mercy to Abraham, which you have sworn to our father from the days of old. And that concludes the book of Micah, um, which is a very profound book, and hence it's a prophetic book. Uh, Next week, we're going to continue in our second half of the journey with Nahum. And Nahum is uh, the only place we find somebody in the Bible with this name. Um, and this is almost a continuation of Jonah's story. We are going to fast forward ahead and see what actually happened to the Ninevites. Before we close, I have a memory verse, and it's Luke 6:38. Given it will be given to you in good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be put into your bosom. For with the same measure that you use, it will be measured back onto you. So God will provide for us, and it'll come back to us in multiple folds. And this is not a a name it and claim it verse, because what we get back from the Lord, He gives it to us. He entrusts it because all this comes from the Lord, and He wants us to use this to bless other people, whether it be through our prayers, our deeds, um, anything that glorifies Him. So He gives these things to us so we can give back to our brothers. If you like what you heard here today, please share it with a friend.